Hey everyone, in last couple of videos we have taken a look at how we can set up Jira and ServiceNow integration via Jira Spoke and how we can bring in data from Jira to ServiceNow. In this specific video we will look at how we can bring in data from the custom fields of Jira to ServiceNow instance. So let's take a look at one of those custom fields. So let me open this particular story, and this story has a custom field called acceptance criteria. So if I'm going to add, let's say, anything JK2345, and I'm going to save this record, right now it will not bring in this updated data to ServiceNow. So let's take a look at the stories. We have something here. So this is the story which I was just updating from Jira. And if I go to the acceptance criteria, it is currently empty because we do not have that setup yet where we can bring in the data for custom fields. So if I go to my transform map, I've already added a field called acceptance criteria in my source table. And the story table by default out of the box has a field called acceptance criteria, which is of the format HTML. And in Jira as well, this field is more like an HTML field. In Jira technical terms, we call it as a wiki markup kind of a field. So we have that mapping in the field maps, acceptance criteria to acceptance criteria. And now if I have to bring this data, I need to configure it in my flow. Now let's take a look if we have any existing flow and how we can bring in this data. Go to operations view. Meanwhile, let me tell you how we can figure out the name of the custom field called acceptance criteria in Jira. Click on the three dots in the top right corner, then export XML. And here just search for acceptance criteria. Here it is. So this is the name of the field in Jira, custom field underscore 10058. So this is what we need to look for. And if I go to this flow which just executed and go to, let's say, payload, and let's search with the custom field name. So this is the value which is coming in, but since we have not configured that as part of our flow, it did not go to a target record. So now let's configure that. Let me copy this payload and add it to a notepad. Let's format this. So how do we get this data from here? It is coming as part of the payload under, let's say, what is the custom field? This is the custom field. This custom field is part of an object called fields, which is further a part of an object called issue. So how am I going to get this? Payload.issue.fields. The name of my custom field. Okay, now let's go back. Let me open this flow. Click on this create Jira stories record. Now this flow is from our previous demonstration, so I'm utilizing the same because I'm just adding data in a custom field and trying to pull that from Jira to ServiceNow. Let's add that acceptance criteria field over here. Now since that value is not readily available over here, if I go to, let's say, issue, I don't see acceptance criteria over here, and the data is present as part of the payload. So we cannot directly drag and drop something over here, but we can script it out. So let's go to the script mode and I'm going to write the script for that. Payload data equals to json.parse, and here I need to pass the payload. Subflow inputs dot payload dot okay, I just need to pass the payload for now, and we'll get other things later. Now let's see what is my acceptance criteria. Okay, whatever the name is, p data dot, as I said, dot issue, and then again we need to go to an object called fields, and then the name of our custom field, and the name of our custom field is this one, and then we simply need to return that value. So this is going to set our acceptance criteria. Let me click on done here and publish our flow. Now let's try to update that story again with the value of acceptance criteria, and it should come and save in the ServiceNow instance as well. Test ready, let's click on save. If I go back to that story, so here it is. In real time we could see that the value of the custom field is coming in. So thank you so much for watching.